while it hurts to give, if dhan donations are made with the hope of return or the expectation of fruits in the future, then such dhan donations are of the mode of rajas passion. 3 things are said in this verse. The first is that it hurts to give. How does it hurt to give? Both people are hurt because of it. The person receiving the dhan donations is hurt, and the person giving the dhan donations is hurt. Many people have the habit that they give, but they make the recipient go from difficulties. In particular, those people who run organizations and take part in fundraising have a lot of experience in this. They are themselves coming from good families and from happy families, but they're doing this in order to serve society and because of selflessness. When they go to someone, then they keep them sitting for half an hour outside the office, and when they call them, they say that I do not have time now, so do this and come back after a week or come back after 15 days. And when they go after 15 days, then they give them at the maximum £2,000 or £5,000. These people have so much power that they themselves can do all of this, but despite this they have wishes, feelings and love to do service to society, and therefore they go through all of this. The other person has gone through inconveniences and difficulties, and the other person also regrets giving them. How is this? I often say that people who go to collect donations are the best salesmen of all. They know how to convince people and how to do it. When they go to people's houses, then they begin praising them. They say that there's nobody like you, you have performed so many satkarma, and there are so many good deeds done in your name. You are like this and you're so great. They praise them like this. If you want to expand the balloon, then you have to blow air inside it. They praise them, and by doing so, they fill them up with air. And when they know that they're fully ready, then they slowly say, we have to do this work, how much will you donate towards this? Then they put the receipt forward. The other person says that we're ready to write down £51,000 from us. They make them write this and get checks from them. After getting the checks, these people immediately leave. You always see that once the person is giving them a check, then they do not sit down longer for more. They immediately leave the house. And after they leave, then the person sitting inside the house thinks that I gave them too much by giving them £51,000. I should not have given them so much. We should understand by giving £51,000, they have done a good thing, but if one gets pain and regret after giving it, thinking, why did I give this and why did I do this, then it becomes dhan, donations of the mode of rajas passion. If he had given it, then he was rejoicing after thinking that I have given money for a good cause, God has given the money to me and I have distributed it further, then it would not matter so much. But if one gets regrets after giving dhan, donations, then this is called hurting to give. This is dhan, donations of the mode of rajas passion. When one gives dhan, donations with a hope of return, then this is of the mode of rajas passion. For example, if a person says that you're building a hospital and so I will give you £51,000 on the condition that if I write a letter, then you should leave one bed empty for me, then this is dhan, donations of the mode of rajas passion. If one says that I have helped you so much and therefore you have to do something for me, then this is dhan, donations of the mode of rajas passion. He is not donating them, he is investing. And you want something in return, if not today, then tomorrow. When one gives dhan, donations with the expectation of fruits, then this is of the mode of rajas passion. This is when a person thinks that he should get something in the future for making the dhan, donations. The government encourages such dhans of the mode of rajas passion through ATG, ATL, etc. by saying, if you give this much, then you will get this much fruits. All these dhan, donations are of the mode of rajas passion. In short, if one becomes released from doing something upon giving it, then it's dhan of the mode of sattva goodness. But if a person has a feeling of getting something upon giving something, then this is dhan, donations of the mode of rajas passion. A person should form a habit of giving. Why should a person have an attitude of taking after giving? If a person has a feeling of taking after giving, then the spiritual meaning of this is that there is an ego inside, and that is why he thinks that if I give, then I will attain something. This I comes in both of these. But if the ego goes away from dhan, donations, and one thinks that I am not the giver, God is the giver, and I am just the instrument, then no wish to take will arise. When a mother and father go to a temple, then they perform worship. They take £11 out of their pockets and give it to the child, saying, child, go and offer this to God. The child goes and offers it to God. When the child offers the £11 to God, then the parents say the prayer to God that, oh God, please make our child well behaved so that he will serve us. They ask for all of this from £11. But the child himself does not ask for anything. He just prays to God out of love, having enjoyed giving the £11 away. The child does not think that I am giving this, and that is why the child does not ask for anything. But the mother and father think that we have given this money through our hard work and by breaking sweat, and that is why we should get something in return for this. And this is because of the ego. Whenever you're giving donations in the material world, then do not think that you're giving the donations as a mother and father. Understand that you're giving donations as a child. This is because God is a mother and father, and He's putting money into your hands while you're distributing it further. If you have this attitude, then no expectations will come at all. This is because no ego will have arisen. I always give the example during the Srimad Bhagavad discourses, and I've actually seen this vision in reality, and that is why I mention it often. Guruji was travelling on the train, and there were the days of summer. There were a lot of crowds. It happened around 30 years ago. Guruji was sitting at the end of the second-class carriage. There was a person sitting by the window, and there were many people sitting at the top of the carriage. The train stopped at Surat station. When the train stopped, then all the noises began. People began offering many different types of savouries, tea and water. Beggars also came. Out of these there was one blind child standing at the platform. He stood steady in his place and kept saying that give something to Surdas, give something to Surdas. Out of the many people sitting on the roof, one person's gaze fell on the beggar, and some pity arose in his heart. He took out 1 rupee from his pocket, and he thought that he could not get up, then this beggar will go away. He could not get down, and did not wish to get down, so he therefore called the person sitting by the window and said, "Excuse me, brother." The person sitting by the window said, "What is it?" The person sitting on the roof gave 1 rupee into the hands of the person sitting by the window and told him to give it to the blind beggar standing outside the window. The person sitting by the window took 1 rupee from the person sitting at the top of the carriage and called the beggar, saying, "Oh, Surdas, come here." Surdas came, and this person sitting by the window gave 1 rupee to the beggar. The beggar got very happy, because when somebody got 1 rupee from begging 30 years ago, then it was a very big thing. The blind beggar went to the person sitting by the window, said, I wish that God would do a lot of good to you, because you're a very good person. He then went away. Guruji saw this vision and thought that the person sitting by the window is such a fortunate person. He had not even given 1 rupee from his pocket, but the beggar Surdas thought that this person has given him the money, and therefore the blessings and good wishes he manifested, that I wish that God would do a lot of good to you, because you're a very good person, was said to the person sitting by the window. The person sitting at the top of the carriage was just sitting like that. Guruji thought that when we give donations in our lives and keep this vision, then we will know that the giver is always the person above, and we are merely God, and we are merely sitting by the window. When we perform satkarma, divine acts, then the world will keep us telling us how good we are, how great what we've done is, and how nice it is that we've given so much dan. At that time we should be careful to understand that I am not giving this, the person up there is giving this. The person up there is giving it, and I am merely seated by the window. And the fact that I am sitting by the window is the compassion of the person up there. That is why I am seated by the window. When one has this attitude, then will egotism come to them? No, and if no egotism comes, then they would have no attitude of taking back. When this happens, then the donations become of the mode of sattva goodness. While there is an attitude of taking back, then donations are of the mode of rajas passion. What are donations of the mode of tamas, dullness alike? They explain in the next verse.